My intention in this space is to teach us tools and coping mechanisms for all the surprises and crises that come our way, case in point, the last year. And there's lots of that in positivity training and yoga therapy training. And one of those is positive affirmations. So a lot of my yoga teaching I do with a psychotherapist, and she's really, really adamant that we can change the chemicals in our brain by speaking differently to ourselves and about ourselves. So that's what will drive tonight's class. And we'll start in a cross-legged seated meditation. So you can come up onto your mat, maybe sit on the edge of a block or a bolster, even just a cushion, and cross your legs. Turn your palms to face down on your thighs. Lengthen through your spine. So you feel from the base of your spine all the way up and out through the crown of your head, this elongation. From this meditative seat, take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Relax as you exhale. Feel your whole nervous system turn down. One more time, build your breath up a little longer. And when you get to the top of that inhale, take a sniff of air, like you're sniffing a flower. Open your mouth wide, exhale, blow out all that air. And now stay in your seat. Keep your spine long and your eyes soft. And I'd like you to think about the nicest possible thing you could say to yourself. The nicest possible thing you could say to yourself. Maybe it's, you are beautiful, you are resilient, you are enough. And turn that into a first person affirmation or mantra. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am brilliant. If you have to dig a little here, that's okay. If it feels uncomfortable, that's normal. But once you've captured that sentence, that simple statement that we call a positive affirmation, can you begin to repeat it to yourself silently? Or maybe you say it out loud if that feels okay and right for you. And as you continually repeat this statement, you start to break these patterns of negative talk. You start to rewire your brain. You start to change first what you think, then how you feel, and ultimately you change to the actions that you take. Negative thoughts lead to negative speech, lead to negative actions. And so our work with positive affirmation is to flip that switch. Positive thoughts trigger positive speech, trigger positive action. You have one more minute here on your own, just sitting, meditating, and repeating this one statement to yourself. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Simply blink open your eyes, bring yourself back, take your hands behind you and give your legs a little break. So set your feet out in front. If you're on a prop, you can come off of it. And just swivel both legs left to right. Tonight's posture practice is yin, so the next few poses will hold for about that same amount of time, just around 3 minutes each. And this next shape is called butterfly pose. Can you glue the soles of your feet together just a few feet ahead of your pubic bone? So you're creating a comfortable distance between your pelvis and your heels here. If you've got tight hips or knee issues, tuck props underneath your thighs. And then begin to dance your body down. So instead of just flopping into this lazy butterfly shape, and you start to shift your weight side to side. Shift your weight side to side, maybe walk your hands a little to the left, walk your hands a little to the right, and just notice how your body's feeling. Notice the areas that feel cranky or tender, and drive some breaths into those places. Give yourself permission to feel good before you fall down into stillness. There's a rounding of your spine. And if this causes pain, so pain are sharp sensations, pins and needles, electrical sensations that causes pain, take a stack of props and place your forehead on that stack of props. So you naturally then limit the range of motion that your body can do. What the sensation is we are hoping to find here is stress or tension through our inner groins, so the tissues around your abductor muscles, along the inner lines of your legs, and that same stress or tension along either side of your spine, right up into your neck. In yin, we take our bodies to about 70% of their range of motion. There we breathe and let the body slip further over time. There's no forcing. In fact, all of your muscles are completely relaxed in these shapes. Once you've settled, can you take a deep breath in through your nose? Exhale out through your mouth. Soften the muscular force of your body. Mitigate any pain with props or renegotiating your shape, so moving one side or to the other. And then I'd like you to think about something negative that you say to yourself often, right? What is negative speak or self-loathing that you often do to yourself? Then can you transform that into a positive affirmation? Can you take that statement? So mine could be, I have terrible frizzy hair. And can you take that statement and turn it into something that is the exact opposite? I have sexy, voluminous, beautiful hair. It doesn't have to be that exaggerated, but you know what I mean. So take a statement that you commonly speak to yourself that is not positive and turn it into something positive. Even if you don't believe it, can you just practice speaking the positive statement to yourself in present tense? I am, fill in the blank. 2 more minutes here. Repeat your positive statement to yourself 5 more times, again, silently or out loud if that feels comfortable. 5 more times, please. After that 5th repetition, take a deep breath in through your nose, like you're swallowing up that mantra. You're pulling it in and sending it down through your whole body. Open your mouth wide, and as you exhale, imagine that negative statement that came before coming out. Then begin that dance like seaweed, just cruising along the ocean's shore. Start to move your body really intuitively, really slowly from side to side as you come up. So you're working your way back upright. Eventually, take your hands behind you, and just as before, stamp your feet on the earth, rock your knees side to side. Notice how the body might feel a little sticky after yin poses. This is normal. All right, come back through neutral. Place the soles of your feet together again. Remove your props out to the side if you're using any. And lean all of your weight over onto your right hip so that you can take your left leg back behind you. And I'll turn so you can see this from different angles, but essentially you're creating a 90-90 shape with your legs. This is called deer pose. 90-90 shape with your legs. You can absolutely prop your right knee or your left hip. And then begin to draw your weight forward in space, noting that the intention is to find a sensation, that tension or stress along your outer left hip, so your lateral left hip. Start to fold forward towards props or the earth, and just like you did in butterfly pose, can you spend the first few moments just intuitively getting to know this shape? Maybe working your hands forward or back, left or right, pulsing your spine. You can even play with the angle of your feet and your calves. But eventually you'll come down into stillness, and the place that you decide to land in stillness, there's no pain, but there's definitely sensation. There's definitely some sensation along your outer left hip. There's no pain in your knee. And if the sensation is mild because you have really, really open hip flexors, you might opt to take a deeper variation called sleeping swan, which looks just like pigeon pose, where your right leg extends all the way back. 2 variations, yogi's choice. Once you've settled into your shape, take a full body breath so you can feel the breath penetrate your entire body. And as you exhale, get back into that place of relaxing the muscular force of your body. So relax your hips, relax your groin, relax your belly, even your jaw. And because the deer as a spirit animal is so renowned for being gentle and kind, and because this world has become so not kind and gentle in the actions it's taken over these past few weeks and this past year, our positive affirmation for this shape is I am gentle and kind to myself. We'll start there. Can you begin to repeat, I am gentle and kind to myself. 2 more minutes here with your mantra. Five more repetitions. I am gentle and kind to myself. Say it, but feel it as you say it. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale with a sigh. Gradually start to lift your body back up. Lean over onto your left hip so you can bring both legs out in front. And this time you might rock your knees side to side like before, or you could imprint your feet into the earth. Press your fingers down and take your hips high. You could do both too. After you've moved things around a bit, bring the soles of your feet back together in that butterfly shape. Hang your weight over onto your opposite hip and take your back leg back behind you. So you're finding that deer shape, that same deer shape on the other side. Then get really cozy in the shape, fold forward, and just flirt with different angles for a moment, different movements before you come into that really still yin place. Once you've found a nice stretch through your outer hip, go ahead and descend somewhere. It doesn't have to be right in front. You could take one of the angles. Fall somewhere with or without props catching you that feels sustainable for the next few minutes. And as before, you might opt to send your back leg, I believe it's your right leg this time, back behind you if you wanted to take that full sleeping swan variation of this stretch. Gather your breath, inhale. And as you exhale, settle into a place of stillness. Good. Your affirmation this time: I am gentle and kind to others. I am gentle and kind to others. Practice a continued repetition of this. Notice how the words feel when you speak them to yourself. 2 minutes here. Repeat your mantra, your affirmation 5 more times. I am gentle and kind to others. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Press your hands into the floor. Roll onto your right side, but rather than coming up, could you come down onto your belly? Come down onto your belly. Come down onto your belly and place your palms and your forearms flat on your yoga mat or on the floor. And set your elbows beneath your shoulders, palms flat. Take a breath in, lift your chest, opening and waking up your spinal body. This is called Sphinx pose. And choose to keep your heart and chest lifted, or if you're navigating some neck issues, take a block under your forehead. This shape massages the sacral lumbar arch of your spine and starts to bring the curvature, the arc back into your lower back. This shape also is a metaphor or called Sphinx pose because it looks just like the Great Sphinx. And historically, the Sphinx was all about protecting. So our affirmation here is, I am safe and protected. I am safe and protected. And begin repeating this, noticing any resistance to it, noticing any commentary that comes up when these words slip out of your mouth, or at least through your mind's eye. But keep saying the words, I am safe and protected. Two minutes here. Five more repetitions. I am safe and protected. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh with an exhale out through your mouth before you let your whole body melt down onto your mat. You might be still or you might move here, your choice. When you're ready, press your hands into the floor. Open your knees mat distance apart and draw your big toes towards one another as you slip your hips down towards your heels. Release your torso forward. Your elbows are bent, even if it's just a small bend, so that your shoulders can relax in this version of child's pose. And you can always take a blanket under your knee and ankle joints or down in front of your torso to make this a little more accessible. The wider your legs, the more space for your torso to fall forward. If your body is feeling a little bit tense through the lower limbs, you can even take a bolster or a blanket under your thighs on top of your calves. Child's pose. Here's the thing about kids. I have two of them. The world can literally fall apart and they are still joyful. They still run through splash pads and eat ice cream with it all over their bodies and laugh and love. And so our mantra here in child's pose is I am joyful. Feel it, breathe it, repeat it. Just a few minutes here. Soften your bones, soften your muscles, and speak your mantra, I am joyful, 5 more times. Take a deep breath in. Sigh out through your mouth. Like a sloth, slowly, slowly pick your body up and take as much time as you need. There'll be a shift in blood pressure as you come up to lie down on your back for final Shavasana. Before retreating into Shavasana, you can absolutely make any fidgets or movements that feel good. Your body will cool down here, so if you have a blanket, drape it over yourself. Eventually relax your palms alongside your body. Turn your palms to face up. Allow your feet to flop out in opposite directions. And think here of a new, personal, very real, positive affirmation that you can gift yourself in Shavasana. What is a positive present tense statement that you know you need? tell it to yourself 10 times, silently or aloud, before drifting away into Shavasana. I will carry space for you here and pull you out when our time is up. Enjoy. Please take a deep breath in through your nose. Cast away any doubts or negative thoughts as you exhale. Gather movements in your fingers and your toes. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Make a yawn. Take a yawn. Stretch your toes long. And then roll over onto the right side of your body. Press yourself up into a cross-legged seat. Take your hands to your heart. One final time, repeat one of your chosen positive affirmations to yourself. Make believe that just by repeating these words, you make them true. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Thank you so much for practicing.